Hello and welcome to this week's Midweek Connection. I'm Todd Jordan. I serve as senior pastor here at Strawbridge United Methodist Church. I'm delighted that you've joined me. I'm looking this week at Acts chapter 12. I invite you to take a look at that. In it, Peter has been arrested. And he is literally bound in chains behind bars, sleeping in between two guards with other guards watching over him. And an angel visits him in the middle of the night, releases him from the chains. The guards remain sleeping, and he makes his way through the bars somehow, through the prison walls, and realizes that he has been rescued. And I'll pick up with verse 12. As soon as he realizes this, he goes to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose other name was Mark, where many had gathered and were praying. When he knocked at the outer gate, a maid named Rhoda came to answer. On recognizing Peter's voice, she was so overjoyed that instead of opening the gate, she ran in and announced that Peter was standing at the gate. They said to her, "You are out of your mind." But she insisted that it was so, and so they said, "Well, it's his angel." Meanwhile, Peter continued knocking, and when they opened the gate, they saw him and were amazed. He motioned to them with his hand to be silent and described for them how the Lord had brought him out of prison. And he added, "Tell this to James and to the believers." Then he left and went to another place. There's so much humor here. Number one, apparently Peter is able to get out of prison, and yet the gate around the house where they're praying, he can't get through for whatever reason. So he's knocking, and the servant Rhoda comes out. She's so overwhelmed with joy to see Peter that she leaves him standing there locked out to go into the house. But the best part is this: she tells the people, interrupts their prayer, tells them that Peter's outside. Now, think about this. Their beloved leader, Peter, has just been arrested and they're in prayer. So, what do you think they're praying over? They're probably praying to God to help Peter out of this mess, right? So, God answers their prayer. And when Rhoda comes in to tell them this, they don't believe her. Is that crazy? You can imagine God like, okay, what? First, you won't pray because you think it won't make a difference. So when you finally do pray and I answer the prayer, you miss it because you don't think it can happen. Does this happen to you? Are we so cynical? Are we so cynical that one, we don't always pray when we should because we think it will make a difference. And when we do pray, we miss the answers and the blessings that God sends because we're so convinced that it can't possibly make a difference. I just want to encourage you. I think that the takeaway here is twofold. One, please pray. Whether you think it's going to change anything, whether you think it's going to make a difference, listen, prayer makes a difference. Prayer works. Um, Pray. The second thing is when you do pray, expect God to do something about it. May not be what you want or when you want it, but it might be. How many times, when I reflect, how many times have I missed an answered prayer because I've prayed begrudgingly and cynically and not expected God to do anything about it? So, what I want you to do this week is to pray. And then when you pray, I want you to expect God to do something and to keep your eyes and ears open to the blessings and the answered prayers that God sends you, and then be ready to thank God for it. May God bless you. I'll see you on Sunday.